First tonight on Our News Weekend, police in the capital are investigating a suspicious death in the Seabreeze community overnight. It's the second similar discovery in less than a week. Plus, it's a major win for the delivery of health care across the country. The Ministry of Health signing a contract for the procurement of 31 new vehicles. It's a deal worth well over $1 million. And later, the tourism minister confirming that the long-stalled Beaches Resort project is finally moving forward on Exuma. We've got the details on these stories and so much more as Our News Weekend starts now. This is Our News Weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Megan Shepard. Police have yet another suspicious death on their hands. Officers were called to Bay Lily Drive in the Seabreeze area shortly after 7 p.m. last night, responding to reports that a man collapsed and began vomiting what appeared to be blood. Emergency medical services visited the scene and found the man unresponsive with minor signs of physical distress. When our news team arrived, it was a relatively quiet scene. Police press liaison Chief Superintendent Sharia King says officers had very little to go on.
Officers that were on routine patrol on our operation unit was flagged down by a passerby and was notified of an adult male, approximately in his early 20s, who was in some type of distress. Officers responded and found this adult male on the side of the road, and blood was coming from his mouth or from his upper body. As a result, officers contacted police control room. EMS responded and confirmed that there was no vital signs.
Now, just last week, Sunday, officers were probing another suspicious death where a man was found dead, tangled in barbed wire near a home. And once again, police need your help solving this latest case.
As I said earlier, police is classifying this matter as a suspicious death until an autopsy, a complete autopsy, can be completed in this matter. But we're asking anyone with any information into this matter to please contact Police Control Room or police at 919-911 or CID at 502-9992.
Police are also investigating a stabbing incident that has left a 36-year-old man hospitalized. Initial reports suggest that the victim was attacked and stabbed multiple times while off Robinson Road yesterday. He was taken to hospital where he remains listed in stable condition. No additional details on the circumstances or motives surrounding the stabbing were provided. A major boost for the healthcare system throughout the country officially solidified Friday afternoon as the Minister of Health and Wellness signed a significant contract with the Inter-American Development Bank. The mandate to improve not only services provided by the ministry, but also facilities outside of the capital. Our Danielle Miller has more.
Good morning. I'm delighted to welcome you once again to the Ministry of Health and Wellness for this official contract signing ceremony for the procurement of 31 vehicles. Today, we are signing 2 contracts to purchase 21 trucks and 10 SUVs.
Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Davil, announcing the procurement of much-needed vehicles, anticipated to enhance the healthcare system, particularly in the surveillance unit and contact tracing. The vehicles, totaling over $1 million, will also strengthen the defense against the threats to public health.
We are allocating these vehicles to assist with the process of quickly identifying, assessing, and responding to infectious disease and surveillance, particularly in our family islands. By improving our mobility in the Ministry of Health and our response capability, we find ourselves now with these vehicles in a better position to do so. And so as we sign this contract today with Bahamas Bus and Truck, as a result of a competitive bidding protocol and collaborative efforts with the healthcare sector, there is the need for these vehicles, and the contract amount is $1,450,000. $447,823.80.
The vehicles will be funded by the Inter-American Development Bank in combination with a grant financed by the European Union. Country Representative for the IDB, Shirley Gale, notes that all financing is managed by the IDB and encompasses more than just the fleet of vehicles.
These investments are going to strengthen the capacity of the health system to prepare and respond to health emergencies and disaster risks, including pandemics. Hopefully, God willing, we don't have another one. It will improve protocols and processes for care for non-communicable diseases, including hypertension, diabetes, cancers, which we know place significant burden on the population. It will also, the financing that we're providing, support and strengthen infrastructure through the construction and renovation of clinics in New Providence and other family islands.
Gale adds the vehicles will be deployed throughout various family islands.
Our team, in the process of arriving at this point, our team has traveled to many of the family islands, Grand Bahama and Bimini, Abaco and Eleuthera, Andros and Exuma. I have to say they did all this before I came, so they'll have to do it again so that I'll get to see all of these places. But in doing so, they were not only captivated by the natural beauty of your beautiful Bahamas, but they were seized of the isolation and the geographic challenges that we face in delivering quality health services to the populations and the communities across the country.
Gale adds the vehicles will be deployed throughout various family islands as her team at the IDB recognizes the challenges faced by an island nation. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, thanks for that, Danielle. Well, the healthcare system set to get yet another boost, this time with more manpower, as 90 young Bahamians officially completed training at the Doctors Hospital Institute of Learning just yesterday. We'll get to that in just a moment, but first, we've got some good news for the RBDF. Much needed assistance is on the way for the men and women that protect our borders. Amid a long-standing manpower shortage, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says the Royal Bahamas Defense Force is looking to bring on 150 recruits, with a new squad coming at the end of the month. The armed forces lose dozens of officers annually due to retirement and other reasons, but it seems the recruitment exercises aren't enough to meet the requirements. With the National Youth Guard recently graduating a new cohort, Monroe believes those graduates will assist.
We're finding, fortunately, that the National Youth Guard is proving a very effective feeder system. Those young men and women have been exposed to a minimal sort of militarization during their training. They're recruiting from their Ranger program, which they operate in the high schools. And they hope to put in a squad of 150 persons by the end of this month.
Monroe says that upon taking up the office, his goal was to double the size of the RBDF to adequately patrol Bahamian waters. But with such a mammoth task, we asked him if the armed forces has been strained.
They are intelligence driven, and you have to make use of the resources as you have them. As I say, the whole United Kingdom, I think, is something like 70,000, 80,000 maximum square miles, whereas the Bahamas is a big ocean state of 180,000 square miles. We have a number of inhabited islands. The police defense force cooperate in policing that area.
All right, well, a major tourism boost is on the horizon for Exuma as Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper confirms that the long-stalled Beaches Resort project is finally moving forward. While agreements are already in place, Cooper says an official signing is expected soon, signaling a major step forward for what is expected to be a game-changing, all-inclusive family resort. Our Delvardo Emmanuel has more on the project.
There is still no official start date for the long-awaited Beaches Resort on Exuma, but the country's tourism minister says the project is still on track. Sandals Emerald Bay closed its door on August 15, 2024 for a $100 million upgrade as it transitions into the Beaches Resort, a family-focused all-inclusive resort. The shutdown impacted more than 400 employees, some of whom were relocated to other Sandals properties. the tourism minister in Exuma this past week, assessing progress on the $50 million international project currently under construction. While there, Cooper telling reporters the beach's resort project is still very much alive.
Although the agreements are in place, there's going to be a signing soon. The recent comments from the head of Sandals is that the project is a go. They have some other issues, as you're well aware, and they're working to resolve those issues. But I'm looking forward to the development of beaches as a family, all-inclusive style resort.
Despite the resort's closure temporarily taking 249 rooms offline, Cooper says the island's tourism sector has remained resilient thanks to a booming vacation rental market.
Exuma has long been a vacation rental market, and I think after COVID, the vacation rental and houses into communities became a more popular form of tourism. But what we're seeing is not just a concentrated area of tourism around the Sandals property. They're going into Rollville and Ramsey and Forbes Hill and Williamstown and Garden Road and places where traditionally they didn't go.
And with new airlift from Air Canada on the way, a strong marketing push from Beach's brand, Cooper says the return of Sandals Group is expected to further energize the island's tourism economy.
It's going to help us to attract more airlift. They have big marketing muscle, so I don't seek to downplay their contribution at all to Exuma as a destination. But suffice to say, local Bahamians are making money from the vacation rental business, and that warms my heart.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Thanks so much, Delvado. Well, wondering what government's planning to spend and where your money's going this upcoming financial year? Well, Our News and Our TV has got you covered. Tune in live as Prime Minister Philip Davis presents the 2025-2026 national budget. Wednesday, May 28th at 9 a.m. We will bring it to you live on Our TV channel 212. And of course, you can stream it on Facebook or the Our News YouTube channel, so you can watch from wherever you are. When Our News Weekend comes back from the break, 90 new graduates now better prepared to serve in the healthcare sector. We'll tell you all about the third cohort graduating from Doctors Hospital Institute of Learning. Plus, former deputy leader of the Free National Movement, Brent Simonet, is weighing in on calls for party unity. More about this right after this break.
Diet-friendly special.
Former deputy leader of the Free National Movement, Brent Simonet, is weighing in on calls for party unity. During the memorial service for the late J. Henry Bostwick, former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram urged members of the FNM to unite. Simonet, who also served as deputy prime minister in the Ingram administration, agrees that unity is essential if the party hopes to return to power. He says Ingram's message was clear: find common ground or face defeat.
You cannot win any battle without a unified force, whatever battle you go into. And that's just stating the obvious. And I think what Mr. Ingram was trying to say was, if you want to win this battle, you need to come together in a united force and use all the attributes and abilities you have to deal with the upcoming battle, which will be the election, to make sure you succeed.
And when it comes to the question of whether former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis should make another leadership bid, Simonet holds a firm position he says is rooted in political tradition.
I've also made it very clear in statements that I think in the case of Dr. Minnis, having led the FNM into an election and lost, it is traditional in the Westminster system for leaders in that case to resign and let other people take over and move on. And that's my position, which is very clear. Mr. Ingram did it. Sir Linden did it. Mr. Christie got defeated, and then he did it. You know, so we've had examples of what people should do. So I think that's what Dr. Minnis should do.
It's a story we told you about just before the break. 90 young Bahamians who've completed training in various health disciplines at the Doctors Hospital Institute of Learning graduating Friday at Grace Community Church. It's just the third cohort of students to graduate from the institute. From certified surgical technicians to emergency medical technicians to IV certifications and even registered phlebotomy technicians. Students made their loved ones and themselves proud as they accomplished the milestone. One of the graduates is sharing with us their excitement to finish.
My experience was rough at first, but as I continued to move on and learn different things, it became way better, and I'm very excited.
And how excited are you to make your impact, I guess, in the medical field?
Actually, very excited because I'm first generation, so it feels very great to know that I am.
This graduate says she's looking forward to changing the stigma against those in the medical field.
Trust me, I'm trying to make a huge impact in the ministry and also in the organization of the medical assistant, being in the medical field, whereas Bahamians perceive a lot of medical persons or professions in the average medical field as lack of compassion, not empathetic and stuff like that. So I plan to bring my enthusiasm and my passive, and it feels great.
Coming up in our sports weekend, we talked to Bahamian coach making his mark in college basketball, and a Bahamian is appointed to a very important international tennis governing body. Those stories and more are next.
Diet-friendly special.
Good evening, welcome to our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. We recently told you about University of Kentucky's assistant basketball coach, Mikhail McLean, and his contract extension. We got another exclusive opportunity to chat with a New Providence native, and tonight he's sharing more about his journey from our small island all the way to Big Blue Nation.
Coach Malagy, he's now the associate head coach at Texas, University of Texas. Yeah. And, I'll never forget. He was like, man, like, you got a talent in recruiting. Like, this when I was a sophomore in college, because I would host every kid that came on campus. I was always the student host, and I would, take them, show them the city, all that stuff, have a good time, safe, responsible. But, I just kind of had like a natural energy where I can kind of gravitate to young student athletes.
That's University of Kentucky men's basketball assistant coach Mikhail McLean sharing the moment he realized that coaching basketball was his future. He's coming off a historic season with the Wildcats, where the team went 24-14 with the run to the Sweet 16 round of the NCAA tournament. His great work as a coach and as a recruiter was recently rewarded with a contract extension through 2027. But before the bright lights of college basketball, McLean was on the pitch, on the track, and in the pool right here in the Bahamas.
I didn't grow up playing basketball. I grew up playing soccer, track and field, swimming, and basketball. I picked it up lastly, 7th grade, getting ready to go into the 8th grade, started playing basketball. So
after a growth spurt, he transitioned to basketball and eventually ended up at a school in Houston, Texas.
I was playing basketball. I began playing it, kind of became pretty good at it. So Frank Rutherford came down and recruited me. He came down to 2 of my games. And at the time, not really being familiar with the game of basketball, I would just contest shots and I would leak out to get dunks because, at the end of the day in Bahamas, all you want to see is dunks. So I remember I had like 68 points. I had like 5 dunks, and he came after. I talked to him after the game. I said, "Hey, what you think?" He said, "Hey, I think you were terrible." And he was like, "You never played defense. You just leaked out and got dunks the whole game. Like, that's not real basketball. Like, you can't get it at this level."
He eventually figured out the game as a high school player in Houston, and then he moved to the University of Houston, and he discovered that coaching was his future.
I came in as a biology major because I was doing pre-med because I wanted to be a doctor. That's what the goal was the entire time. Yeah. That first year, between labs and clinics and all of this stuff, bro, like I was really I had to pick whether I wanted to be a good player or if I wanted to be a doctor. And I just, maybe it was me being immature at the time. I didn't think I could do both because I was spending so much time in labs. I missed any extra time for practice. I would show up to practice right when practice started. I would have to leave right after practice was done to go back to lab. That place was home for me as a player. Coach Sampson came my last year, so I was able to play a year for him. Then I was a graduate assistant for a year for him, and then I got to join his staff full time as a developmental coach for 6 years. So a lot of my success goes to Coach Brooks because I ended up working for him at Lamar as an assistant coach as well.
All right, so we had a great talk. We'll talk more about Mikhail's journey in coaching next week and how he's helping turn the Bahamas basketball team into a powerhouse as the senior men's associate head coach. Now we head over to a different type of court where Bahamian is making history earlier this week in Panama City with his election to an important international governing body. Perry Newton has been elected to the board of directors for the Central American and Caribbean Tennis Association, or COTEC, and to COTEC's General Assembly. Newton is the first Bahamian in history to be named to the organization's board, but he isn't new to this. He served as president of Subregion 3 between 2021 and 2023, and he was also on the Regional Junior Development Committee. Based in the Dominican Republic, COTEC, which is affiliated with the International Tennis Federation, has a mandate to grow the game by organizing competitions, workshops, and trainings in the Caribbean and in Latin America. Newton's term will run until 2027. Congratulations to Newton. Before we go, Jonquel Jones and the Liberty hit the court earlier today. We'll have those highlights for you tomorrow. That's a wrap for sports this evening. For our sports weekend, I'm Tej Adderley. We'll do this again tomorrow night.
Thanks so much, Tej. On the other side of this break, meteorologist Ian McKinsey steps in the Weather Center with a look at your weekend temperatures. Stick with us.
Diet-friendly special.
Welcome back and thanks for sticking with us. Temperatures are heating up on the outside. As to exactly how much heat we can expect for the next few days, well, here's meteorologist Ian McKinsey with your weekend forecast. Ian.
Thanks, Megan, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Saturday evening forecast. Another scorcher across the country. Outside our studios, when intermittent clouds with a temperature of 85 feels like a warm one at 90. Winds are from the east-northeast at 10 miles per hour. Current temperatures across the country at this time, we have 83s in Freeport and in Governor's Harbor, 82 in Marsh Harbor, a pair of 84s in Allenstown and Great Harbor Key, and a pair of 85s in Nicholstown and in the capital. Central Bahamas continuing to be warm, 85 in Camps Bay as well as Georgetown. 84s across Black Point, Arthurstown, Port Nelson, and in Deadman's Key, Long Island. 83 in Coburn Towns and Salvador. Southeast Bahamas continue with those 83s in Duncantown and in Abrahams Bay, Mayaguana. Pair of 84s in Colonel Hill and Delectable Bay, Auckland, as well as Providenciales, Turks and Caicos, and 85 in Matthewtown, Inagua. Satellite and radar composite at this time. Broad area of high pressure blocking all fronts from coming through our area, ridging across us, suppressing any type of shower activity. Warm conditions expected to continue throughout the week. In your boating forecast, nice boating conditions out there. Winds are from the east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet across the northwest Bahamas. Low tide at 12:48 a.m. tomorrow morning. High tide at 6:37 a.m. tomorrow morning. In the central and southeast Bahamas, we do have a caution out there. Winds are slight stiffer. We have a risk of rip currents for you swimmers out there. Winds easterly 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over the ocean. Here's a look now at your national forecast. And in your extended forecast, expect that broad ridge of high pressure to persist across our area. Warm to hot conditions. Expect those temperatures to soar back into the 90s with the feels-like temperature in the mid-90s to upper 90s. Expect those conditions, folks. Drink lots of water, stay hydrated, remain out of the sun for extended periods, and do wear light-colored clothing. That's a wrap in your evening forecast. Watch out for those hot temperatures. Have a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
And just before we head out, we want you to check out an Our News digital exclusive. Two brothers turned their passion into a photography powerhouse. Charlot St. Just and Macmillan Estillion rose from beginners to now industry leaders, thanks to their thriving photography business. The owners of KG Studios tells their story in an Our News digital exclusive. You can watch that now on all of the Our News socials. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.